Good morning. If you want to see how we made this big cutting board and counter extender, we used 3 different kinds of wood. We reinforced it with cross-grained wood on the ends and the top. Stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday 319. Talking to my buddy, and he's talking about a large cutting board he has that he really likes, but it's getting old and it's warping, and he kind of covers his sink with it and kind of extend his countertop so he uses it as a food preparation area. Cutting board, countertop extension. It's a real nice little setup, but it's warping. It's giving out on him. So he asked me if I wanted to try to fix the defects of it and make him another one just like it. So today we'll take a look at the old design, come up with some improvements, and build him a new one. So let's knock off the chit chat and get to work. Here's a picture of the cutting board that we're trying to improve on. You can see the boards are about 18 inches long. They're about 1 3/4 inches wide, and the thing has a little lip on it. Another picture of it. You can see where it's kind of bowed here. So here's a little schematic of the cutting board we're trying to reproduce. These boards are 18 inches long. So the dimension here is 18 inches this way and 20 inches this way. It's got the little juice notch in here, a ledge back here, and in this configuration obviously it's going to bow. Here's a drawing of my proposed changes. The boards will be going lengthwise this time, and instead of being 1 3/4 inches wide, they're only going to be 3/4 inch wide, and there'll be twice as many of them. Same juice notch here. I think it'll be 20 inches by 18, just like the original. In our design, though, we're going to put this lip on the end grain, and we're also going to install an end cap. So I blew those drawings up a little bit. The boards are plain sawn, which means they're just flat boards with their edges put together. And the total width of these boards make up the total length of the cutting board. And the lip here is on the edge. It should be down here at the end. And this is what I'm calling the upgraded design. Moving this ledge here, which I like, but I'm moving it to the end grain instead of along the side. Sounds logical to me. I'm also switching the wood to quarter sawn, and it'll only be 3/4 inch wide, so it'll be twice as many boards. And I'm adding an end cap, kind of breadboard style, right along the end cap here, or the end grain here. So now we have 3 different reasons why this thing's not going to warp. Number one, the ledge, it's going to stiffen it on the end grain here. The cap, end cap, is going to stiffen it at this end. And the wood is quarter sawn, which doesn't warp as bad. Also, the length of the board is now equal to the length, the total length of the board is now equal to the length of the strips instead of the width of the strips. And it'll have the same juice channel carved into it. I'm using hard maple, cherry, and poplar. I'm going to, you can flip all these boards over and glue them all at one time, but I rather do it this way. It's a little slower, but I don't have as much squeeze out. When you lay them all out and do it, the wood kind of, or the glue kind of slips between the boards and you get a lot more squeeze out. Of course, this doesn't work if it's real hot, because then the glue starts setting up before you get them all done. One of the things handling these boards individually does is it gives the glue a chance to begin to cure, and you don't have as bad of squeeze out. Well, the first part of the glue up is we're finishing up. But we still have to, we're going to glue another strip on the end down here. We're calling it the end cap. So got to prepare this for the end cap, and we'll do that. This is a little tool I invented or discovered. Putting a chisel on the end of a piece of board. You can see I've used this for years. Gives you unlimited power and control when you're scraping off glue. Keeps your knuckles off the board. It's important that I get all the glue off this thing when you squeeze out, because I'm going to be putting this thing through the large drum sander, and that glue really kills the sandpaper in there. I'm putting this strip of cherry along the end grain, and I'm going to attach it with these beech dowels. That's my theory anyway. I got the cherry strip in there. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dowels through there, and it's glued. So if this thing's gonna kind of cup or bow, it's going to have to carry this cherry along with it, and I don't think that's very likely. Well, I haven't been goofing off while the glue's dry. This is the jig I'm going to use to cut that curved, whatever that groove is around there. Talking about making sure I got all the glue off that board. This is what happens if you get glue on these belts. The glue is actually plastic, and so it melts and really screws these belts up. So I'm going to replace, I think I'll replace this front one. Now I'm installing the ledge. It'll stabilize this end and also its original purpose. I'll put it on with glue and also dowels. I'm installing the ledge with dowels and glue, same way I did the end cap. I think this buddy might get a 10,000 year guarantee on this. Now I'll just take my dovetail saw, chop these off. Try to limit the amount of glue I get on this saw because it really messes up the teeth. I gotta do some hand sanding and put some butcher block oil on this, but this is about the last of the machine work right here. Well, I'm about ready to finish her up here. This is a cutting board oil, and I'll put over the next couple of days I'll coat it and let it dry. I might hit it with some 320 or 400 grit tomorrow, depending on what the grain looks like. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 319. I think we accomplished everything we set out for. We moved the ledge down to the end grain. We attached it with glue and dowels. We installed an end cap with glue and dowels. We oriented the boards in quarter sawn configuration. We put them up on edge, and we double the number of boards. So I think got our little juice notch here. We put that in there. We made it out of 3 different kinds of wood: hard maple, cherry, and poplar. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Well, that'll about do it for Memphis Monday 319. I think today was almost a design, you know, a design video instead of a construction video. You know, we identified everything was wrong with the original. You know, it was plain sawn, boards were too wide, the lip was on the wrong side of the board, it should have been on the end grain. We identified all the improvements we wanted to make, and then we just systematically made those improvements. So I think hope you got something out of it. Like, share, favorite, all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.